Before diving in, this video is sponsored by Surfshark. Stick around to hear more about how to protect yourself from a shadowy collective of internet executioners, which is apparently what I am now. Also, this video is available ad-free in an audio podcast form on locals.com, basically a better form of Patreon, another way to support, and my entire content library is up on Odyssey, which is a YouTube alternative if you want to branch away from the platform. Links are down below. Okay, today is going to be a little bit different and honestly a lot more informal. Instead of diving in and analyzing a topic in depth, I'll just be sharing the conclusion to a long-standing saga called Regal Reserve. Many of you may or may not remember what Regal Reserve is, so for those that don't, I'll do just a quick rundown right now. Regal Reserve was a glorious esports organization. Just kidding. It was a cloud-chasing group of teens tricking each other so that they could act like high-roller CEOs. It all started when the owner approached a friend of mine to join the team and then subsequently to do a charity stream which lacked all legitimate structure. I got a bad vibe from him, so I decided to see what was what. Turns out the whole thing was a cesspool of corruption and lies. It started with a mansion. The team said they owned it, used it as a prize in competitions, told members that they would move in rent-free if they were recruited, and a whole bunch more. Spoiler alert, they didn't own the mansion. It was just still for sale the entire time. They made up the entire thing. But it ended with a realization that this team had been harassing members, preying on smaller streamers, failing to pay designers or graphic artists or whatever, manipulating speculative recruits to use them for social media growth, and based the entire organization on a stolen Twitter account from a small-scale celebrity that had been hacked and sold to the owner by a third party, and the list just went on and on and on. Now, the idea that your social media could be hacked is not new, not by any stretch. In fact, I basically get accused of being some sort of darknet shadow cabal hacker in this very video by the kid CEO's father. So if you want to protect yourself from all that, you need Surfshark. Surfshark is a VPN, virtual private network that can protect your data, secure your information, and even serve as a geographic location changer so that you can watch Netflix programs from different regions because of licensing agreements. In the modern digital age, there is absolutely no conceivable reason not to use a VPN, and Surfshark has you covered with a massive discount when using my code Echelon for 84% off and 4 full months free if you use the link down below and sign up. One more key point, Surfshark allows for unlimited devices on a single account, providing tremendous value on top of their existing discount for the community. So if there was ever a time to catapult yourself into the digital age with confidence, it's right now with the link down below using code Echelon for 84% off and 4 months free with Surfshark. Big thank you to them for sponsoring the channel. Once I became aware of what Regal Reserve truly was, and more importantly after the CEO responded with a catastrophically bad defense to my initial video, all of which is linked down below by the way, it's probably an hour plus of videos on various aspects for those that care, I decided that it was high time that the gaming world had one less parasitic organization leeching away at its health. What followed was a collective effort by a number of YouTubers, facilitated by me, to accurately cover the decrepit organization this group had become, and either spur actual change for them or just get rid of them and protect the demographic they so clearly preyed upon. That's where our story truly begins. One of those channels was Pescator News. The channel is no longer as active, but with the help of their host John Swan, who has his own YouTube channel now, linked down below as well, they covered the saga of Regal Reserve alongside myself and a few others. This is the tie-in for today, because the video they produced, garnering a little over 5,000 views in its lifespan, I believe, is the genesis point for one of the most hilarious exchanges I have ever seen on social media, and ultimately, I believe, a fitting conclusion for the entire adventure. To summarize, Regal Reserve approaches a friend of mine. I investigate them because they seem sketchy. After that happens, I find out that they are faking a bunch of things, including a mansion, and being all-around scumbags. They respond. It's a really bad response. I rip them a new one yet again. They don't stop or change. They keep going. Eventually, even more people get involved, and now, many months later, after all of that has concluded, the CEO's father has entered the chat room to try and... I really don't even know. You can decide for yourself. Without further ado, here we actually go. And this is Tony speaking, by the way, the father of the ex-CEO of the now deceased Regal Reserve, who was named Andrew. So this is Tony. Josh, I was referred to you by John Swan. At one point, he made a video about an esports company that I invested in called Regal. That video, among others, eventually led to the complete destruction and closure of that company, as was his stated goal. John was merely a third-hand journalist in the situation. Some of the video is factual, but most of it is not. The outcome was devastating to many innocent people's jobs and careers. It's behind all of us at this point, and the true monetization value of the video has long been realized. I asked John to consider unlinking my name as it had almost nothing to do with the original matter or how it unfolded. Today, the video in question continues to wreak havoc on people who never had anything to do with the original story. Innocent, non-connected people are continually being hurt by its presence. I'm asking if you would consider removing the video or at least, and I'm assuming he says, take it down or something like that. Pescator then responds by saying, "Can I ask what your role in Regal was?" And also, just as an aside, reading Tony's cadence and grammar is like nails on a chalkboard. So if I make mistakes, I'm just going to kind of read through it instead of redoing the whole paragraph, because I'm going to be at this for like 6 hours if I do that. Quote, "Thank you. I was an investor who came along after first few tournaments. I was and curious about esports and knew nothing about it at the time. Partially hands-on when I first arrived, helping to tighten legal framework and develop financial models. Then moved on." That's just mumbo. That sounds so disingenuous. Whatever. "Then moved on to other matters in my life and remained at arm's length simply because I was busy with other matters. I consulted from time to time, but I did not run day-to-day operations. I pulled the dollar plug after Upper East stormed the gates and it became obvious that they had the power to annihilate our brand. Impressive power, but unwarranted destruction of too many innocent jobs, IMHO. I fully acknowledge the initial mistake of too early of a release of news of a mansion by our," and that's what I'm talking about with the cadence. Moving on, reading on, where did I put that? "Of news of a mansion by our brand, but I personally did not make the call to release the video. I have more experience than that, and I would have held off until the final agreements were signed and landlord checks were cashed. I lost significant money and paid my dues for that mistake." Need clearance to move on in he needs his clearance to move on in business. "That video, when found, undermines my credibility in business. Seeking your mercy, but can survive without it. It's basically embarrassing and takes explanation more than anything. I assume that since the stated goal was to destroy the brand, mission accomplished by Upper E and team. Congrats. May I kindly have my dignity back? Thank you for considering my request. I'm no longer in esports or gaming. Lost my appetite/lol." Now, the hilarious part about all this is that this is the father of the CEO of Regal and an investor who appeared in the mansion announcement videos themselves, saying, "I didn't make the call to release it. I have more experience than that." Sure you do. Yeah, sure. I believe you. Reading on, Pescator asked him why the video affects him so badly. The 5,000 view video, not the ones I did, keep that in mind. This is all to get one of the secondary videos removed after I had covered this, I don't know, maybe 3 different ways with hundreds of thousands of views. Quote from Tony, "I'm not mentioned in the video probably because it's not really about me / but my name must be in the metadata," that's key, remember that, "just to harass Andrew." No, wrong, whatever. "That video comes up when people search my name and it causes annoying problems outside of esports that are not on par with my involvement or the initial situation, especially 18 plus or minus months later. Not sure why I would need to contact EU, it's not EU, it's UEU, as he, she, they pretty much left me out of the matter all along." Okay, all right, sure, fair, I did. "Are you EU's avatar?" It's not EU. "Or is EU yours?" Either way, hats off to your tribe. Impressive attack. I found it rather confusing as to why we made EU, this guy, and the tribe so uncomfortable. They never really said how to fix their anxiety except to die as a brand. We complied. I think it was simply about view dollars. At this point, I doubt that I'm on their radar any longer, though I thought I might simply ask to see if you might let me move on. Like, just move on then. Yes, I'm Andrew's dad. Thought you knew. Thank you for studying. Whatever. I don't know what the rest is. Here's the thing. His name isn't in the metadata anywhere, and the video does not come up when searching his name. If he's so impressed by my power to destroy, as you'll see later on, then he should probably believe when I say that you can't actually find that video when you're looking for him as a person online. That video is in no way discoverable while searching for my main man Tony here. And this entire thing went from being sort of understandable maybe to being very strange and kind of sketchy. When referred to me by Pescator, this was his response. "Not interested in communicating with UE." Okay, so you can get the name right now and the letters in the right order. "They are a powerful team and I don't want to upset them in any way. If I said the wrong thing, it could get silly again, and I don't need that headache again. Thanks anyway, sorry to bother you." Interesting. Now, when pressed, he goes into more detail about why he won't speak to me, and this is the fun part. "Thank you for assisting me and trying to help. It is very kind of you. Please understand that I fear them. They caused me and my family a lot of harm on purpose and with overwhelming support from a whole team of people. It was a very difficult time for me, but it was simply a sport for them. There was no real point to their attack." Your son was scamming people and lying to... Okay. "Because our mistake was dumb, but really minor given all the problems of the world. It had no direct impact on their lives. Not really sure why they wanted to chat. Let me think it over for a bit. Thank you for trying to assist. It's harder than you think to trust them. I hope you can understand. Maybe you've never been on the receiving end of such an attack. It's an insanely harsh thing to go through. If we could meet face to face in person, then it would be easier, but they only speak from the dark. Trippy stuff. I'm old school, but I'm impressed by their power to destroy and control. It is actually fascinating. Respect. That part just made my day. That's hilarious. You heard it here first, folks. I have impressive power to destroy and control. Dude is acting like he's in the middle of what is it? What's that show on Netflix? Oh, the Netflix that you can watch when you switch your geographic location with Surfshark plug, Surfshark link down below. Jack Ryan Shadow Recruit, that's the one. But it gets even stranger. Recalling that he was referred by John Swan, let's read that part. Here we go, Tony again. Hello, I was wondering if we could talk about a video you currently have listed with my name attached to it. Wrong. His name's not attached to it. I never watched the specific video because I already know the issues surrounding it. That video's views have run the course, so it's no longer generating any interest or money or prestige for you. Per your wishes and powerful demands, the business is closed. Because of your power, we laid off all the graphics people. Half of them you weren't even paying. I have testimony of that. Pro gamers, merchandise creators, and team managers. Almost all of them were working pro bono and doing it for free and would get kicked out after they did all the work. I have testimony of that too. Your power to hurt me and all of those other hardworking, innocent people's lives has been demonstrated, witnessed, and had its full impact. Now that you have policed the internet and served as its judge, jury, and executioner, I'm curious when my sentence will end. In reality, I simply owned a small part of an org as an investor in the hopes of building people up and helping make dreams come true. Must I be punished ongoing for that? If you won't remove the video, can you kindly unlink my name? His name's not linked. And John replies, I must admit, I don't know what you're talking about, mate. What video are you referring to? His name isn't linked, and he is serving some perpetual internet sentence in the prison of his own mind. I swear, man, this family is just too much. All right, Tony, again. Thank you for replying with gentleness. This was a very stupid incident on many people's part, including the company I invested in, aka Regal Reserve. Perhaps it was good that you and others came along when you did. Your actions opened my eyes to the power that individuals like you have, or have, I assume he meant you. I get it that you were told that we screwed up as a company and given media snippets that seem to prove UE points, so he can get it right now, haha, EU. Got it. That's behind us now. Some of that info is true, but most of it was not. I regret this incident and all the loss it caused. Many innocent people suffered because of it. This incident that had almost nothing to do with me continues to bring destruction where it is completely unwarranted, and it is still hurting others whom had zero to do with it. Can you kindly consider removing the video or at least unlinking my name? His name's not linked. Thank you for listening to my request for mercy. He's not even done. Not even close. Get ready. Here comes Tony again. I've written to Josh. Would you also consider writing to Josh on my behalf? It would be kind of you and possibly helpful. You have made your money on my back. Good for you. Now, can you kindly assist me in stopping the destruction from that effort? You are not devoid of responsibility for the harm that continues just because you sold the channel. I run an orphanage in Africa, and your video has shunned investors. The money is critical to survival of completely innocent children. They don't know you or YouTube. They only know rice and beans and a safe place to sleep at night. Investors can't tell if your video is true or not, so they lose trust. It's sad that you never reached out to me personally before you posted that video. You just ran with it from one-sided info, and you hurt a lot of innocent people in the process. He even admitted himself that it wasn't about him. His name's not in the metadata. You can't find it when you search. I'm not going to sue you. Yeah, 'cause there's nothing to sue for. Dumbass. Or hurt you. Yeah. I'm simply going to sit on your conscience until you free yourself. Wicked is as wicked does. Yeah, because a video that made $1.80 was profiting off his back. And even though his name is not in the metadata and the video is not connected to him in any way when you search, it's depriving African orphans of rice and beans because his obnoxious son scammed people and got called out on the internet. No one will feed the African children now. And now the best part, seriously, the best part. Here we go. My misunderstanding. Thank you for clearing it up. See, you can be helpful. Pity story, lol, hardly. Just responsible actions. Go in peace. Glad to know that you were not that vicious at the outset. I did watch the video, and your presence did not seem to match the destruction that resulted. Glad to see you in a better light. By the way, the orphanage story is real. If you don't already, maybe one day you will have a child. Then you will understand. No worries, we are all square. Go in peace. My words will wash away over the next few days. Expect to be rattled for just a bit until then. Sorry if I triggered a loss of sleep tonight. It will return. I promise. I genuinely think this dude is high, or he got drunk and emotional, or something that night, because all of this happened like pretty much in one continuous sequence, one after the other. It just kept coming. The whole thing made me laugh. Not because I'm laughing at his claim that innocent lives were destroyed. I don't want that. Nobody should ever want that. But because that claim is absurd. The idea that a 5,000 view video that isn't even SEO optimized to him in any way is somehow ruining the lives of African orphans because the investors do a deep dive like the CIA into his past that he's not even connected to, into his son's past. It's all ridiculous. The concept of a father and investor who is visible in the faked mansion videos would be not in control and not having a say is just sad. And all of it seems to be the perfect, fitting end to the saga of Regal Reserve. You heard it from me, the internet executioner. But that's it. I got a really good laugh out of this. I hope all of you did too. Some people are just absurd. Some families are just absurd. Links down below if you want to support merch, locals, Odyssey, another gaming YouTuber to check out as well. But I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching and have a nice night.